Hello, YouTube. Very good to see you again, even though I really can't see you, but you can see me, so it's okay. Um, Wanted to bring this review to you real quick about The Eyes of Tammy Faye, a brand new film that just came out starring Jessica Chastain, Andrew Garfield, Vincent D'Onofrio, and several others. I was so excited to see this movie because you guys look all around me, you see all my nerd merch, Star Wars, X-Men, Marvel, all that. X-Men is Marvel. I love me a good popcorn action franchise movie, but I also love character studies. I love the Oscar movies. I just like good film in general. That's why I use the word film so much. I enjoy it. And this one I was looking forward to from the second I heard about it, honestly, because of the subject matter. But then when I saw the trailer and saw how Jessica Chastain just transformed a person that's not recognizable. Honestly, if you saw the woman on the poster, you would be able to tell that's Jessica Chastain because it looks nothing like her. The makeup, the prosthetics, and all that in this movie is off the chart. And Andrew Garfield and Jessica Chastain, two of my favorite actors working today, off the charts good. Jessica Chastain, I think, will absolutely be nominated for an Oscar for this movie. I think she should be. Andrew Garfield, he's great in it. I just don't know if I see him getting nominated. This was a movie that was made for an Oscar nomination. That's why they released it when they did. I know September's still early, but they usually get one to sneak in there around award season. I was so excited for this movie, and man, I didn't like it. I didn't like it very much at all. That said, I'm so glad I didn't do what I was going to do originally. Originally, right out of the theater, I was going to just shoot this walking back to the car. Macy and I saw this movie this afternoon, and when we both got out of the theater, we hated it. We hated watching the movie. I'm glad I took some time to marinate on it and think on it because my opinions have changed a lot, and I'll explain why in a moment. But the story, if you don't know, about Tammy Faye and Jim Baker, they were televangelists, and she was a pretty well-known singer back in the day. They started the PTL network. Praise the Lord. It was one of the earliest televangelist operations. And right now, you hear that Hollywood's making this movie, this story, you know, going in that this is going to be Hollywooded up. It's going to be made with a very liberal mindset, and it's going to portray conservatives and Christians specifically as these hateful, uh, bigoted people. And in some parts, they do. But I gotta say, this as someone who I've made it known very clear on this channel, I am a Christian. I love Jesus. He died on the cross, rose again for me, and I believe that wholeheartedly. I wholeheartedly believe with all my heart that Jesus is more than a religion. I believe Christianity is a relationship, is a lifestyle change, and I think it is portrayed very poorly in this movie. But this movie is very historically accurate from what I've done, from what research I've done. And I know you can't believe everything you hear on the internet, but they didn't change much from the actual story in this movie, from what I've heard. And in that sense, it's a very unsettling story, regardless of your faith, whether you're a Christian, an atheist, or gay, straight, whatever. It's a disturbing story about these people who, again, going back to the real life story, if you didn't know, Jim Baker was a prominent televangelist back in the day, was indicted for fraud. He basically took all this money from this ministry. He goes on. He's one of those televangelists that goes on the air all the time, asking people to, pledge, double your pledge to help the ministry. But they're taking the money and they're getting rich off of it. And Tammy Faye, she's painted as this sympathetic character. She's a little out there. From early on, you can tell she's a little nuts. She's eccentric, as she was in real life. But you can tell she has a good heart, and she wants to do right by God. She wants to do right by people. She wants to love on people regardless of whether they're gay, straight, if they fit into the circles back then. She wants to love everyone. And back in that time, definitely more so than today, a woman's voice wasn't heard as much. And that's fact. It's not about feminism versus anti-feminism. That's just how the world worked back then. And you can tell she never really cared about fitting into that box. That's not to say she didn't have her struggles. She certainly did. It covers a few very intense instances in her life where she falls pretty low. And both of them, and again, Andrew Garfield and Jessica Chastain, their chemistry, amazing, off the charts, as you knew it would be. They made this movie. This was a passion project for Jessica Chastain, apparently, and you can really tell because she gives her all into it. I just didn't enjoy the film. I didn't enjoy it because it wasn't fun. It was very well made. I'll say that it was very well made from a production standpoint, an acting standpoint, directing. There are a few scenes that just kind of come out of left field. It's like, what the heck is going on here? And I was going to dot points for that, but then I did my research. Apparently, this stuff actually happened. And in that sense, it was like, okay, I get it. So, as being a well-made film, I can't really dot points for it. I just didn't enjoy watching it. And I wanted to. And I'm bummed about that. Another person I got to talk about is Vincent D'Onofrio. A lot of people in the geek culture know him most recently. Well, he's been in a lot of things, but they know him as Kingpin from Daredevil, Wilson Fisk, from the Netflix adaptation of the Marvel character. And he has a very monotonous, dark, deep voice like this, where he speaks like this throughout the entire show. He kind of does the same thing in this movie. He plays Jerry Falwell Sr., who was a very well-known Baptist minister at the time, and love him or hate him, was very impactful. He's not portrayed in the best light in this movie either, not surprisingly. But I know people in that circle back then, especially the Southern Baptists, they had this sort of Southern drawl about God and man and all that. And we don't really talk like that much today. A lot of people don't. But he's talking, he gives a line, and it's serious. It's like what he says: "We're at war with the feminist movement and homosexuality and all that." And it's like, what? No one talks like that. Jerry Falwell Sr. didn't talk like that. He didn't talk like a mixture of Kingpin and Jerry Falwell. I don't know. It was silly to me, you know? And I'm looking at my notes. Macy made a great quote. She made a great quote. She said, great quote. I don't have grammar. It's late at night. I'm tired. I've been working hard all week and I'm trying to review this movie. But she said something very profound that stuck with me. Some people aren't meant to have a lot of money. And I'm like, wow, that's so true. Because you can tell, at least by the way this movie portrays them, both of these people, Jim Baker and Tammy Faye, they had good intentions at first. But then they got greedy. They got this wealth and fame. And with Jim Baker more so than Tammy Faye even. But you can tell it just kind of ruined them. And that's the case today. And again, let me just say this. Because I didn't make this channel to be preachy or anything. But real biblical Christianity looks so different than the way it's portrayed in this movie. It's portrayed in the media in general. Yes, the secular media does not like Christianity. And they try to portray it in a negative light. That's absolutely true. But when situations like this happen and Christian people are so hateful, you give them stuff to work with. And I just want to say to anybody watching this channel, listen, the Jesus of the Bible is not like this. Christians, myself included, are not perfect people. We're not. Nor should we claim to be. But don't let the sour taste that followers of Jesus put in your mouth make you think that's who Jesus himself is. Because that's not the case. And I don't think that was this movie's intent. I really, because again, from what research I've done, and again, I wasn't alive during this time. Members of my family were. They remember the PTL network and all that. It seems like they told a pretty historically accurate movie. There were a few things that they took some liberties with, but not much from what research I've done. So in that sense, it's a well-made movie. I just didn't enjoy watching it at all. Like, I was thinking about it, it's like, if I had to watch this or F9 again, I'd probably watch F9. Is it a better movie than F9? Yes, absolutely. That's not saying much. But honestly, F9 was more fun. So it's just my opinion. I would rate this movie, I'll go 5. I'll go 5 out of 10 because it was very well made. It told the story well. It's based on a documentary that came out called The Eyes of Tammy Faye. That's where it became Jessica Chastain's passion project. But I just didn't enjoy it. My channel, you know. Sorry. I wanted to, man. I really wanted to love this movie. I saw the trailer, and I knew it was going to have stuff in there that got under my skin. I knew it was going to have its problems, but I was still very excited. It didn't work for me. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed the review. Thank you so much for watching it. And again, hope you have the best rest of your weekend or week whenever you watch this. And I'll see you next time. Peace.